Russell Westbrook turns 37 years old next week. And whilst most NBA players would be coaching or commentating or just flat out retired after 17 years in the NBA, Russ isn't like most NBA players. And even at 36 years old, there are still very few players that can do what he does. And one of those things is rebounding.
Humbly speaking, I'm the best rebounding guard ever.
Even at his age, Russ is still rebounding at a rate that almost no other guards can maintain, with him averaging 7 boards a game and 14 rebounds over his last 2 matches. And it's not just been the rebounding, because in year 17, Russ is proving the NBA wrong yet again. After spending the entire offseason without a team, after being told not to return to the Nuggets,
The speculation, the truth is that they didn't want me back.
a lot of fans, a lot of front office members, and a lot of teams thought the NBA had moved past Russ. Well, 8 games into this season, and Russell Westbrook is still doing Russell Westbrook things, averaging 15.7 rebounds and over 5.5 assists, whilst shooting 43% from 3. Not bad for a guy who didn't have an NBA contract 3 weeks ago. But this is nothing new for Russell Westbrook. We've now seen it over the last several years, with the Clippers, with the Nuggets, and now with the Kings. When Russ joined these franchises, 95% of fans thought he was washed, thought he wouldn't help. Yet despite that, he contributed to every single one of those teams, and it's possible we might be seeing the best version of Russ we have seen in years. And the Golden State Warriors just got a perfect reminder of what Russ can do. Because in a game with no Steph Curry, no Jimmy Butler, no Draymond Green, no Zach LaVine, and no Domantas Sabonis, this was supposed to be time for the Golden State Warriors' young players to shine. And whilst some of those guys played well, the best player on the floor wasn't a player entering his prime, it was a guy who turns 37 years old next week, putting up a monster triple-double and an efficient triple-double, leading his team to the win. Just watch him here bumping into Podziemski. He spins off him, and even at 36, that speed is still ridiculous as he gets to the rim and then has the ability to finish with the left. Or how about on this play where he gives it up to DeMar and immediately cuts off the ball getting to the rim. These were just a couple of examples of Russ doing what Russ has always done so well. And in addition to this, he shot the lights out against the Warriors. And so far this season, he's just been shooting the lights out in general, shooting 43% from 3. And look, we know Russ isn't going to shoot above 40% from 3. We have 16 years of evidence. If I am wrong, you can come back and tell me I'm wrong. But all he needs to do is shoot well enough to keep the defense honest, because you can still see from those clips his ability to get to the rim. It is still absolutely elite. And I think one thing we saw in Denver that is helping him in Sacramento is that shot profile. He might not be able to dunk like he used to, and watching this play where Buddy Hield nearly blocked his shot kind of made me sad, but he still gets to the rim almost as quickly as anyone. And over his last couple of years, nearly 50% of his field goals have come within 10 feet, which is actually more than during his prime, which I know sounds crazy, but that's a result of him taking less mid-range shots and taking more of the shots that we all want to see from Russ. And even with his efficiency at the rim not being what it used to be, with his ability to cut, his ability to hit a few spot-up threes, and what he does in transition, we've seen Russ can score with decent efficiency. And all you need from Russ as a scorer is decent efficiency, because one part of his game that he has always had, and he will always have, is his playmaking. And when it comes to Russell Westbrook, everyone knows he averaged a triple-double numerous seasons. They know he led the league in assists, but I'm going to say it right now, Russell Westbrook is criminally underrated as a passer. How is that possible for someone who led the league in assists multiple seasons? Well, that's because people don't give him the respect or the credit he deserves for what he can do as a passer beyond just collapsing the defense and kicking it out to shooters. Russ is one of the most skilled passers ever. Look at him here get the board, as he always does, and the beautiful outlet pass to Monk running down the floor for the bucket. Or how about in the half-court setting here, where he brings the ball up the floor. Sabonis sets the screen 30 feet from the basket, and with Portis backtracking, look at that pass from Russ. Or this play where again it's Sabonis setting the screen, and even with just a slim window to make that pass, he's Russell Westbrook. He can do that in his sleep. And as I mentioned, that speed is still absolutely there. Like here where Malik Monk brings it up the floor. Russ is jogging beside him, and then once he gets the ball, look at him just zoom into the paint, drawing Trace Jackson-Davis and finding Eubanks for the dunk. And Drew Eubanks, you can thank Russell Westbrook for extending your career at least another year, because I guarantee this man will get a contract because of what Russell Westbrook is doing, because of the way he is setting him up with the easiest lobs and the easiest finishes around the rim, like he is so often done for his centers. Nothing has changed. Now I'm going to put my hand up. I laughed at the idea of the Kings signing Russell Westbrook. Now, before you report this video, it wasn't because I thought Russ was washed. I just looked at this team, a Kings team that had just signed Dennis Schroeder to a big contract, that had drafted Devin Carter the year before, and still had Malik Monk and Zach LaVine, and the spacing of DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis, and I thought, how is this going to work? Well, Russ has just simply made it work. Because yes, you see the triple-double against the Warriors, and anyone who watched Russ as a starter in Denver should know he can still do this when he gets the start at point guard. But how about playing power forward for this team? How about doing absolutely everything to contribute to winning and help this Kings team, despite them being a bit of a rabble? And when I say he's been doing everything, like here with just a few minutes remaining in the game against the Bucks, watch Giannis get the ball off the missed Sabonis free throw, and Russ tells Sabonis, "I've got him," as Giannis brings it up the floor, and well, he gets fouled. So what's the deal? Russ took the assignment and just fouled him. Big deal. Well, at that time, Domantas Sabonis had 5 fouls. And with all due respect, in that situation, Giannis is either going straight past Sabonis or he's fouling Sabonis out, which is where Russ stepped in and took the assignment to keep his all-star in the game. And when you're looking for ways for Russ to stay impactful, even when Monk and Schroeder and LaVine are on the floor, yes, I know it sounds crazy to even say it, but it's things like that. Or like here where Russ is spotting up in the corner, the defense leaves him alone, so instead of standing there, he crashes the offensive glass and gets the tip in. We've now seen this movie year after year after year. Russell Westbrook gets written off, and Russell Westbrook contributes to winning whenever he gets an opportunity. And whilst I think this Kings team is, they're in a strange situation, it's just fun to watch Russ hoop, and I mean, that alone makes them interesting, I guess. Now, if you want to hear me continue to talk about the NBA, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Dropping a like would be cool. Have a great day. Bye.